I like that sound. All right, we are on. We are live. It is Wednesday. So welcome to Wine and Whatever Wednesday. I am Kristen, tasting room manager. My God, so sorry, Nancy. Wine
Nope.
manager at Perry Winery. I'll hear about that one later. And I'm here with Tyson Freeman, who is our cellar master at the winery. So I thought I'd pull him in. You guys have all met Ben. You met Dave, our assistant winemaker. May as well round it up and throw the third integral member of the team, Tyson. So before we get started, what we decided to do today was I went to Tyson and said, Tyson, let's taste some wine. What are your favorites? Clearly, you said Papa Pietro Perry. So then we had to delve it down, and I said, okay, pick two of the single vineyards and let's side by side them. Because Tyson writes the tasting notes. Tyson is the winemaker. Tyson does a bunch of stuff at the winery, and so why not go into the back area and listen to what he has? So he picked. What did you pick, Tyson?
Well, I thought it'd be cool to go to Russian River. It's always, we do a lot of Russian River, and I thought the Lyris was tasting really good and the Nunes is tasting good. As almost always, Nunes tastes great. And we've had it in all different permutations. We've had it ripe, less ripe. And it's always just comes through. It's always one of my favorite wines. So, and Lyris too. So, but I also have a hard time picking though, because, I like them all. I really do. I don't have to buy them. So I like them all. I don't have to make decisions, like other people do.
What do you drink a lot of wine outside of Papa Pietro Perry?
Yes. Well, I try to, yeah.
Okay, good answer. I'm leading you up to something. And yeah, I know everybody drinks a lot of wine outside of Papa Pietro Perry, shockingly enough. But my question to you is, if you did not work for Papa Pietro Perry and you did not just have it, would you buy our wine?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, same here.
For sure.
And you guys have got me trained with Pinot. This is my bar. So, in fact, I do buy it. Who am I kidding? All right. So,
I do too.
Yeah. Right. Well, we have a lot of family members and friends who, right. Let's be real. I have family members and friends because I work at Papa Pietro Perry.
Yeah.
Wine club members out there, you know who you are. Okay.
I have a few more friends because I can get Papa Pietro wine for them too.
Right. You'll be a lot lonelier if you ever leave us.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so we're gonna. Which one should we taste first? We have them both open.
I do have both of them open too.
So I have two hands, two wines. I figure, Yolanda, what are you drinking tonight? Yolanda's on here as well. So we had to do the double swirl, which I was talking about earlier. I go opposite way. The beauty with these big glasses is you can be a little violent swirler. It doesn't matter. All right. So actually, you do the tasting notes. So take me through, how do you, as a professional, taste wine?
Well, it's one of the funnest things to do. We all drink wine and we drink it. Obviously, there's a good effect to drinking wine, but really getting down to tasting wine and just trying to figure out what's there is not as easy as it sounds. If you're trying to really parse out what is going on with each wine. So Ben, Dave, and I get together, and I have a kind of a script. I take the notes, and I start with the color, and then I have an entry for aroma and a entry for flavors, then structure, and then overall, like a catch-all entry for the end. So we just work through it, and we say it's garnet, deep purple, whatever color it is, and then we smell it. And I like to open them a little bit earlier. I like to let them open up. They definitely change.
How long earlier do you let them open? Do you open?
I mean, any amount is better than just popping it and drinking it all, which I do as well too.
I've been doing it wrong this whole
time. Patience, Kristen. I mean, even if you pour a glass and get a little bit of the air in the bottle, 5-10 minutes later, it's going to taste different to some extent. You don't have to decant everything, but decanting is like kind of a cool thing. It definitely makes a difference.
Do you recommend decanting our wines? I just had somebody email me. They're opening a 2017, one of the Russian River Valleys for Thanksgiving, and she said, should I decant it? I'll tell you my answer. You tell me yours.
I mean, I don't want to come out too strong. I don't do it. I don't do it half of the time because I kind of know. But if I'm really interested in a wine and I want to take it slow and taste it over time, I do. And this is when I mean decant. It's not a $100 decanter. I put it in a water pitcher that we have at home. It doesn't have to be fancy. It's just getting a little bit of air in there. So I do like to do.
Swirler. I swirl all day long. I swirl my OJ. I swirl my coffee. I swirl everything. And so
I know.
Swirl my oatmeal, my soup.
I know. It's like for people outside of this region, it's so annoying. And it even annoys me a little bit sometimes. But it's just what we do.
That we swirl?
Yeah. It's like an automatic thing. I swirl water, it's just habit.
I'm learning not to swirl bubbles. It is habit to swirl. Ron's saying he decanted the 15 Mukaida this week. Show off with your 15 Mukaida, which made a big difference.
Yeah. And also over time, that's why I try, and some of the wines really they are. I mean, they're so delicious. You really find yourself like keep going back. But if you really want to see what's going on, it is good to drink it over an hour because air, it's all science. It does open up, things change. And that's why swirling it, you're just volatilizing all the, aromas. So you make it smell more. There's a reason to do it.
Ben is on as well. And because Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Yeah, Ben just jumped on. He's reminding us not to swirl sparkling wine, which I agree and forget every time.
Right.
Yolanda has the 13 Mukaida on the way. How did you get 13 Mukaida? Well done.
Ooh, Ben?
No, Yolanda in Texas has a 13 Mukaida on the way. Craig Starkey's on here as well. I don't know if you've met Craig when he's come in. These are diehards and Matt's on. You guys are amazing. Okay, so sorry, I digressed for you. So you opened the bottle early, as far as I've gotten so far at the wine.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've seen us do tasting notes. I mean, we go out there and, we're talking and we open them and, one of us tastes them to make sure they're not corked. And that starts the opening up of them. And, we just start going through them and we smell and we let it open up. There's no rush. These are tasting notes. We do them once a year. There's no reason to rush through it. And we just start talking about the wines. We go through the aroma. We all kind of do flavors and structure. And then I starting to put it together a little bit towards the end and, trying to figure out what the thrust, the gist of the wine is about. Some wines really speak, they say this is like delicious. I really stick with primary thoughts. Whether you're an old taster that's tasted a lot or a new taster, you should really just listen to what your first impression is. It's very real. It's very true. Yeah. And it can be any language, Yeah.
So if I look at both of these, so I've got the Nunez over here and the Laris over here. So if I look at both of these, I'm going for color first. I mean, our colors are pretty similar, although I just did learn that Campbell Ranch was a little darker. I'm still fascinated with that tidbit. So these are both Russian River Valley vineyards. They are both, 2 miles as the crow flies, a mile?
Yeah, actually, they're pretty close. Now that you say it, they're probably 3.5 miles away, 4 miles. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're very close to each other, but yet there's massive difference in the palate, but I'll get there soon. But these colors are very similar. How many words do you have for the color red?
There's actually quite a few. There's garnet, there's ruby red. Garnet has more tinges of purple, and then there's purple, or actually we never really have any purple wines, truly. They're either red and a lot of it has to do with the, what do you call it?
Meniscus?
No. It's how solid they are or not. There's another word that I can't think of right now. Because sometimes they're a certain color, but they're lighter bodied and you can see through them easier. No, that's the thickness. But there are some that are clearly red. And then when they start tilting into purple, we start calling it garnet. It's not the most important thing, to be honest. I remember when I first started with Ben and Dave, there seemed to be a lot more really light colored Pinots that were packed with flavor. And it was like, so I trained myself to really just not look at the color as much. And that's my personal thing, because all this tasting is very suggestive stuff. You have to like clear your mind and just taste. I close my eyes, because yeah.
And so we do the color, which I just looked at both tasting notes for here, and you don't have color listed that I can see, which is great. So I'm gonna read you one of the tasting notes, see if you can figure out which one it is, by the way. Okay, so you go to color and then you go to aroma.
It's a 50-50 shot. You're not gonna like do another wine, are you?
No,
or you could. That'd be fun.
I do that. So I do that when we do the unboxing and uncorking with the staff. We taste through all the wines in the club shipment with the staff, and then I always cover the label of a bottle and retaste them on something they tasted to see if they can get it. Oh, is the word you're looking for opaque?
Yes, opacity. Yeah.
Yeah, Craig. Craig had his thesaurus out.
Thank you, Craig.
Yeah, Craig's very helpful. Okay, so then you show me, how do you taste? Because I smell.
So we smell.
Go sideways? Do you go straight in?
No, I just go straight in. And I try not to swirl it the first time. I mean, this is what you want to hear, really, detail by detail.
If anybody else wants to
I try not to swirl it. The first nose, I want to just smell it straight without swirling it, because there are some that the nose is so aromatic, you can tell the difference. If it smells okay, but some just smell beautiful right without volatilizing it. So I usually just smell it first, and then I swirl and start smelling again and start writing notes.
And do you put your nose at the top of the glass or the bottom or the middle of the glass? I hear all kinds of different things. People do.
I don't know. Right here, right at the rim.
I see just stick your nose right in the glass. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah. So the rim touches my face on the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm liking it.
Right, and I try not to sip it for a while, and I smell it for a while, a few beats, take like 2 or 3 or 4 smells, and then I'll maybe taste it after that and just do real quick. I'll just, at that point, I won't do it absentmindedly. I'll be like kind of focus on it, and just get those first impressions are golden, so and then I just write some notes down, and if something's obvious, and a lot of times it's just this weird, it can be it could be a structural thing, the structure hits me, whatever I perceive, I just write down. And we go from there. And I listen to Dave and Ben.
Well, you get all 3. I love that. And hi, Jonathan. Jonathan snuck away from work to watch for a bit, so I love it. I worked somewhere once before, and I was taking some guys on a tasting, and they were smelling the wine and tasting it. And the one guy goes, "Oh."
I lost you. You froze, Kristen. Am I still on?
Okay, I'm back. Are you back? That was weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sorry, everybody. Hopefully everyone took a couple sips. Yeah, Kristen froze. Tyson is on frozen. You guys are so helpful.
Was I still on?
What?
Was I still on?
Keep talking, Tyson. Yeah, be quiet, Kristen. Is that what you mean, Craig? I think your volume was on the whole time. Yolanda snuck away from work too. Okay, I think we're back. Well, hopefully I took a sip of wine at that time. I took 2.
Yeah, no, I was panicked a little bit because I thought it was my fault.
It is.
I don't want to screw this
thing. It is your fault. I didn't want to say.
It always is. That's also my role. You didn't mention that part.
It's always your fault.
Yeah.
No, Tyson scurries when he sees me coming because he knows I want to bring over pallets or something from the amongst making wine. Also brings over wine from the warehouse to the tasting room.
Yeah.
Tyson, you were on the whole time.
Oh, good. Okay.
I didn't even pick your nose.
I didn't. I don't think.
Well, they'll tell you if you did. All right, we're back on. We're talking about.
So you were telling the story about your friends that were tasting. Do you want to finish that story or no?
I didn't know the park on 3rd Street, but I love the fact that wine evokes memories and wine puts you places and wine brings back memories or brings back things. I will tell you the worst smell I ever had, and it was a Pinot, but it was not a well-made Pinot. It literally smelled like boiled hot dogs.
Oh.
No kidding. It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was really not our Pinot. It was back when Sideways first came out and everyone was releasing cheap Pinots.
Well, it's interesting. It's come a long way. Even just I can't say a short time that I've done it, but there were some wines back in the day, I'd say about 15 or 20%, kind of funky, like not in a great way. So there's almost none of those left. Everything is pretty drinkable now, at least. It might not be special, but there's a lot of good Pinot out there.
And Tyson has worked for me for almost 20 years. Ben is giving you kudos from the beyond. And Ben apparently is texting Dan notes. All right, got it, Ben. Ben, Tyson has been with you guys since 2003. That is 18 years, which have flown by, right? Were you brown when you started working for us?
Nope.
He's white now.
I was starting to get a little gray, so I shaved it off all the time, but I'm done now. So
you're just going with it. Okay,
yeah,
so how did you hook up with the Papa Pietro Perry clan?
Well, I was a financial reporter at the time and living in San Francisco. This is like my 3rd career, but at that point I was like financial reporter. And I'd been on New York deadlines for a few years, and I just needed a break. And I was friendly with Renee's niece, Rose.
That's who brought Dave in too.
I know. So I kept seeing her out and about in San Francisco, and she's really fun and funny, and we got along. She's very smart, and and she's like, I think you should meet my uncle. He's a partner in a winery up in Sonoma County. And I had made a bunch of beer over time, and loved fermentation and eating. And so I came up, and my first exposure to the situation was and Dave it was in 2002 actually. And Dave and Ben were at the end of harvest, and they had other things to do. So I got brought in, and I worked with Bruce Perry to just finish up and just do some stuff around the winery. But both David and Ben were gone. I didn't meet Ben for another month after that. So I just knew Bruce and Renee, and I just got up there, and as much as I like doing thinking work and all that, I just love the hands-on aspect of actually making the wine physically. And I was just so hooked at that point. And I got to know them better, and we got along pretty well. And, they just did it so right. I honestly am not sure I would have stayed in wine if I had started with another outfit.
That's a huge compliment.
Because it was very different then. They didn't know they were going to make it. It's a really tough business. So
Ben just said best recruiter Rose, and I read it as best recruiter Rosé. I was like, yeah, I know you do the rosé in the shirt. Yeah. We'll get to that in a minute, but I read that as rosé. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's a great compliment, though. If the chance of it being with another winery, maybe you wouldn't have stuck around. But no,
I'm pretty sure I didn't, because the way we did it in the old days was very intense. When we did harvest, Ben and Dave and we never left the winery.
The campsite, you guys, because if you guys pay attention to the shows, you guys camped in the vineyards.
Yes.
Right.
We either had an RV, a van, or an RV.
Oh, so
so we it's a very rare thing to be an adult and kind of shut off the world for 3 months and just be super focused on just making wine. And So it was that kind of immersion that really I loved. And Ben, gosh, and the focus was on eating and drinking the best we could. Like we had the best of everything, because we worked pretty hard. We were pretty hard,
Best camping meal.
Yeah.
You guys went real. No
What's that?
Meanies for you. What was your best camping meal?
Oh,
You have one?
well, yeah. Well, there's a few. I mean, I used to eat a whole ribeye myself at that stage. So the ribeye and mushrooms and all that deal was really, really good. And so every meal tasted so good because Ben's, Ben, it's like, he's an awesome cook, and Dave is awesome too. But Ben was cooking for me then. But actually my favorite was he did trout one day with trout, sauteed onions, and bush baked beans, which we doctored up, and salad and bread. That was my favorite. And then we'd have for dessert, we had Nutter Butters and Jermaine Robin XO. So it was like this really fancy, like really good brandy with Nutter Butters. And that was like...
When you guys went to your RV or van.
Yep. And then we'd punch at night, like really late at night. We still do it late at night, but then it was like 11 o'clock. We'd sleep for a while and then get up again and go and punch at 11 or 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. So it was really, it was an all-encompassing deal, but probably some of the best fun I've ever had, my whole life. So
no, I think that's, you guys have great stories. If you come to the winery and visit, obviously Tyson's been giving tours lately. Ask for Tyson, ask for Dave, ask for Ben. Hold them accountable on these stories. Okay, so I'm going to read you one of the tasting notes for these two wines. Well, actually, I want you to tell me some basic. They're very different. First of all, we were talking about doing these side by side. Is there enough difference? I said, well, let's try it. There absolutely is.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Give me like 3-4 bases for Nunez, for Laris.
Well,
and what do you think?
What I love about Laris, and it's why it's like the textbook, example of Russian River Pinot. Really, I've tasted a lot of Russian River Pinots, and there's always fruit. There's good amount of fruit, but there's also a very noticeable, wonderful balance of earth and minerality in them. Some years more, some years less, but it always has this, and it's super complex that way, And the vineyard's getting older now too, and some of these vineyards that we've worked with since I started are, they're how many years? 18, 15 years older. So it's a big deal, and I just love to see Lyris come along that way. It's I just always kind of shake my head, and when Lyris is good, it's really good, but it's got a little age on it. Some of the primaries off, but it's still definitely fruit there, a lot of fruit.
Yeah, I think Dan just handed me a note, and I agree. Personally, I feel like the Laris is a little bit more earthier, got a little more of that spice, all that dust, a little more masculine mushroomy to it, where the Nunez to me has always been some nice bright acidity, very juicy. But tasted like 17 tasted like candy. 18's kind of similar to it. What else did he write? Oh yeah, Candy Rancher. Look at that. Candy Rancher. Geez, Jolly Rancher. I'm going to read you one of the tasting notes, and I want you to tell me if you know which one it is. And it would be Laris, to be polite. So jump in when you figure it out. An elegant yet complex nose of ripened red fruits, creme brulee, subtle baking spices, oak, and earth instantly appear when the wine is.
There is.
You're right. Good job.
That's easy though.
Well, that was easy.
Get Dan to get one from like one we're not tasting if you want to challenge me.
Oh,
want to make a fool of myself on camera.
There you go. And do a little order. And so the other fun thing is when Tyson and Ben and Dave write the notes, for example, I'll shoot you guys an email tomorrow. In January, you will be tasting the first of the 2020s for spring wine club coming up in March because we write the tasting notes. You guys write the tasting notes with wine. Then like 2 weeks later, you'll go back, reopen the wine and kind of go through the tasting notes and fine tune them. Then when that's done, Tyson goes back and adds all the flower rewriting to them. And he comes up with a couple pairings because I think your Laris pairing is salmon with fennel and mushroom, brunch, goat cheese, mushroom, fine herbs and eggs. Oh, my bad. That's a Nunez. Laris, paella, cedar plug, salmon, herb-crusted rack of pork. Ron, I think you told me, do you tell me what you were eating tonight? Ron usually likes to tell me what he's eating and make me jealous because when you came out, you didn't cook for us, Ron. But he did say we gave him the perfect rationale for finishing every bottle to experience the range of taste and aroma from opening to finishing, which I actually do think is true. It's fun to watch how your wine changes. He's also a good cook. Ben is just singing your praises today. You are also a very good cook. So we're very lucky at the winery Monday through Friday. Either Chef Jim May is cooking or Dave or Tyson. All three of you guys are, Ben, I know you're a great cook too because I've had your food. All three of you guys kick my butt. Not so much, but
if you like to eat.
I like to eat.
Well, usually you learn how to cook if you really like to eat.
I like a man that can cook. That's my preferred. I'm sure
that works out just fine.
It works out great at the winery. What is your specialty? Do you have a specialty item?
Cooking?
Yeah.
Oh, well, not really. I mean, I like the things that you can adjust on the fly. Like we watched Rita and I watched the baking show. Do you ever watch the English baking? Yes. I can't bake because there's no adjusting. It's all about, so I'm not really good at that. Anything I can I like stews and I mean, I cook a lot of stuff now, but my favorite thing is things you can kind of fix along the way.
So if you're trying to, so you and Rita are in a fight or you're trying to impress her, what would you make?
I'd probably get takeout.
Okay, because I would do reservations as well.
Yeah.
We'll just go to Ben's house.
Or I'd just get out of the house.
Okay, I'm kind of agreeing with you.
She's a tough customer, but steak. If I want to make her happy, if there's crab, but steak, mushrooms, spinach, and potatoes that I don't mess up. Yeah.
Okay.
She's German, so she's very picky about potatoes.
Okay, so here you go. So Dan found you another wine. I will tell you it's either a 16, 17, or 18.
Oh, geez. Okay.
You didn't specify. You're lucky.
Okay, no, that's fine. I have no shame.
Here we go. There's plenty of inviting dark red fruit on the nose, infused with a wonderful shot of earth and bramble, like smelling the whole raspberry bush. This wine really makes its presence known from the first sip. Vibrant black raspberry, cherry, and deep red fruit flavors combined with fresh earthiness gives it some grounding. There's always a bit of earth paired with the fruit in the The wine has impressive fine-grained tannins that elevate the acidity and deliver the
Campbell.
dark. You're close.
Oh, shoot.
Go a little south, same first letter. Deliver the
Charles. Wow.
Charles is south, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know my geography. Yeah.
I should have waited a little bit.
2017 Charles. Pair this one with duck, lamb, or steak. No, good job. You did pretty good.
Well, it sounded Campbell. Yeah. Second shot.
Okay, Ron said I served the Mukaida with a roasted, really spatchcocked chicken. Really, Ron, with kabocha, squash, potatoes, and mushrooms. What is spatchcocked?
Spatchcock is where
it's how you
half cook under a brick.
Oh, look at this. And this is why the men in my life cook. And I do not. I've never ordered a spatchcock chicken before.
It's a really good technique, actually. That's good.
You guys are amazing. Holy crap. Tyson looks good with that white beard. Yeah. He's getting ready for the holiday season. Can you say ho, ho, ho for us?
Ho, ho, ho.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've had requests to be Santa, so I guess I will.
What's that song? Okay, so I got through 2 of my notes, but that's totally okay. I was supposed to ask you, how do you keep track of where the barrel is located, any forklift accidents, why the Russian River, what's your best memory from camping? What did you do before making wine? But you did that. But we're out of time. So I'm going to wrap it up and said, I told you it goes so fast. So it's easy breezy. All right. So we got stuff going on because the world is opening. I just got back from San Diego. I was in San Diego at the San Diego Food and Wine all weekend.
That was good, huh? Was it a good event?
It was an amazing event, but they canceled my flight midair on the way back.
And
nice. Popped me back over there. Oh, Angela's drinking a 16 Charles right now. How were those tasting notes? Kind of held up a little bit. Yeah, the San Diego Food and Wine Festival is incredible. And we did a sunset soiree Thursday night prior with all club members. We had 60 people out there on the bay watching the sunset, drinking Pinot with us. We had so much fun. We're doing it again in Palm Springs. So we're doing the Passion for Pinot tasting in Palm Springs, January 8th. I believe an email went out today. We're also going to do a pre-event Pinot hour, Pinot tail, instead of cocktail. Pinot time at Willie's Modern Fare, which will be their grand opening week. Phenomenal restaurant tours. So that's January. But before that, we got holiday packages out. Shipping's included. You can't go wrong with that, for goodness sakes.
Nice.
And then, Chardonnay and lobster dinner. We are doing Chardonnay and lobster, not in the summer this year. We're doing Valentine's Day weekend, Chardonnay and lobster. And then Bodega Bay weekend is still open. Yeah, Ron, we've got Bodega Bay staycation. We figured everyone might be a little timid to go international. So we booked Bodega Bay Lodge for the last weekend in April. I call it training for our 2023 cruise. We'll do a wine dinner. We'll do a wine seminar. Pretty much it's just drinking wine with all of us all weekend long.
It's a good idea.
It is a good idea, isn't it?
It's like
coast.
And it's good to get back into all that stuff, I'm so glad I stopped by that Saturday,
our club party?
The club party. Great.
It was awesome.
So great.
We had such a good time. We had our wine club party. We had a ton of people show up.
Gerard.
Vaccinated. Of course, it was safe. Gerard was there. We've got a new virtual tasting coming up, I think, in January or February. It's called the Trio, which is salumi, cheese, and clearly wine. Yolanda met Tyson. You met Yolanda at that party. And Yolanda, I heard you have the 15 Mukaida coming, not the 13.
Oof, that's got to be a good bottle. I would love. You won't let me have one of those, but I might steal it from Ben. Well, if you ask me
offline to where Ben and Renee and them can't see, maybe. We can do our due diligence. But would love anybody to come join us. And then, of course, 2023, we are doing Istanbul to Rome cruise. So if you can handle us for 34 days in Bodega, you can clearly handle us for 14 overseas. Will be incredible. But Tyson, thank you so much for joining us. Cheers. I can cheers.
Pretty much any time.
This was a lot of fun. You did great. Cheers. Cheers. Swirl, swirl, swirl. All right, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great evening.
All right.
Without a